India's first budget, a system created before independence, which still runs the nation today. The year was 1860. Hindustan was not yet free. The country was wounded. The fire of the 1850 Savvy revolt had not completely cooled. The grip of the British Empire was strong, but inside it there was fear. Fear of a collapsing economy, emptying treasuries. And the biggest fear of all, a nation which, if not controlled financially, might slip out of the empire's hands. In such a situation, a British man arrived in India, not a soldier, not a king, but an economic mastermind who created a system for India that is still alive even in 2026. This is not just the story of tax, it is the story of power, of control, and of that iron structure on which today's modern Indian economy stands. And the most shocking reality, this system did not begin after independence, it began during the era of slavery. Today, when we talk about the budget, we see a modern parliament, smart finance ministers, digital documents, televised speeches. The whole nation holding its breath to see what changes the government will bring, whether life will become more expensive or cheaper. But hardly anyone thinks about where the roots of this entire system lie. Where did this entire economic framework, this complete budget mechanism, this entire tax philosophy actually begin? Is it true that India had its first budget even before independence? Is it true that the first official idea of income tax was not created by an Indian but by a British economist? And is it also true that even in that era, low-income people were given tax exemptions? Today, we will walk into that mysterious journey, understand the story of that British man, who may have thought he was working for the British Empire, but unknowingly laid the foundation of India's future financial system. Imagine India in 1860. There was uncertainty everywhere. The British rule initially believed that military control was enough, but soon realized that real control does not come from weapons, it comes from money. And the most powerful way to control a vast country like India was through a revenue system. This is when a name emerges, James Wilson. He was not a soldier, not a ruler, but his mind became the biggest weapon of the British Empire. James Wilson was sent to India on a very special mission. The mission was to rebuild India's financial backbone. After 1857, the British treasury was badly shaken. Administration costs, army expenses, infrastructure, governance, everything needed money. But the question was, where would the money come from? That is when the idea of income tax emerged. Today this word sounds normal to us, but in that era this concept was completely new. People were not used to paying structured taxes. In the times of kings there were revenues and land taxes, but a modern structured income tax? That was a revolution. When Wilson presented the first budget, it was not just a financial document, it was a new mindset. He said, if a country has to run, there must be a systematic tax system, a system that is stable, predictable, and controlled. For the first time in India, he introduced the idea that people who earn more should contribute more, and those who earn less should be relieved. That is why it was decided that those whose annual income was below 200 would not have to pay tax. But this was not just a story about tax. Wilson knew that merely creating a tax would not make the system work. The system had to be transparent. It had to be accountable. So he took another big step, the auditing system. Where is the government spending money? How is it being spent? How much money is going to which department? To track all this, he built a structured audit model, what we today call accountability of public money. Its foundation was also laid during this period. But look at the irony of fate. The man who created India's first budget, the man who designed the system, his journey in India turned out to be very short. Just a few months after presenting the budget, James Wilson's health deteriorated in Kolkata. He suffered from dysentery. And in August 1860, he passed away. The irony is striking. The person who gave a new life to India's financial foundation, his own life ended so soon. But the impact of his work did not end. It remained alive, in the form of systems, in the form of policies, and as one of the strongest footprints in history. Now let's move a little ahead, toward today's Indian budget journey. Today, the budget is not just a game of numbers, it becomes the national mood. There is excitement, tension, and expectations. Before the budget is presented, the famous halwa ceremony takes place. A large cauldron of halwa is prepared. People smile. But behind it lies a world of discipline and secrecy. As soon as the halwa ceremony happens, the budget printing team goes into lockdown. For weeks, there is no connection with the outside world. No family, no mobile, no outside communication. Only one responsibility: to ensure that not a single number leaks out. This is not just budgeting, this is trust. This is control. This is the dignity of the system. But it was not always like this. There was a time when budget documents were printed in the president's house. Then there was a leak. The system was shaken. Rules changed. Printing was shifted. Then a special ultra-secure printing unit was built inside the North Block. Today, the budget is not just a piece of paper. It is the most guarded confidential document in the country until the finance minister reads it in parliament. Then comes that moment when the finance minister begins reading the budget. Parliament falls silent. The nation sits in front of televisions. Social media is flooded with curiosity. And every Indian is thinking, will petrol become costlier? Will tax slabs change? What will be done for farmers? What about the middle class? What about corporates? And at that very moment, we should probably remember that this entire tradition, this entire structure, this entire process did not suddenly appear. It is the story of a long journey. A journey that began in British colonial India. But today, it is completely Indian. It is ours. It has changed according to our needs, evolved over time. And today, it has reached the stage of a modern digital budget. After 2014, budget traditions also changed. The real budget was merged. The budget date was shifted to February 1st, so that there would be enough time for execution throughout the year. With the digital revolution, not only the economy changed, but the budget also transformed. Today, there are not pages, but tablets. Instead of the leather briefcase, modern digital red ledger-style formats have come in. But one thing has not changed: the emotional and practical impact of the budget. On the day the budget is presented, it is not just the government that speaks. That day, the future of the nation speaks. But here a big question arises. Was the tax and budget system created by the British only for exploitation? The answer is complicated. Yes, in that era, a large portion of taxes was used to sustain the empire. India's natural wealth was exploited. But the paradox is that this very system gave independent India a ready-made financial framework. If the system had to be built from zero, it might have taken decades. But after independence, India molded the system according to its own values, its priorities, and its national vision. And that is the biggest victory: to turn an imposed structure into a national strength. Today, income tax is not just revenue. It is a part of nation building. Roads are built, hospitals are constructed, schools are established, defense becomes stronger, welfare schemes run. Today, the budget is not just a colonial legacy. It is the biggest symbol of modern democratic accountability. And yes, we criticize it, we discuss it, we argue about it. And that is the beauty of democracy. Today, we can question the system, challenge it, and improve it. The time is gone when the budget existed only for the benefit of rulers. Today, the budget is for the people.
If this video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestion. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources: news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.